Welcome to an episode of Canadian Stacker. Sorry I haven't been on in a while. I've had life matters to attend to. Well, what's been going on lately? Well, I don't know, man. More banks are collapsing. Like last week, we were talking about that. So 2 more are down. And now we've got another problem that seems to be developing in China. It looks like, well, it's not developing. It's been there for a while. But, basically their real estate market's looking pretty shaky. I don't remember the name of the company, but it's the largest company in China for real estate. And it looks like everything's coming due for them and they don't have the money to pay the bill. If they don't pay the bill in a week or so, I believe it is, they'll go into quasi-default and they'll be given a 30-day period in which to try to come good on the money that they owe. And if they don't, they'll be officially into default. China hasn't been looking like they're going to do any issuances to bail them out. They're kind of sitting there with their mouth shut, sort of like what the U.S. did at first with the banking problem that happened the first time before they started the swap line. So will China let this huge debt implosion happen? Will they take on and shoulder some of the debt from this large corporation onto the state? Or will they let it go down like the Titanic, which is what currently it's looking like? Yeah, so that's what's going on. Now, if this happens, this is a huge, huge problem because everybody's invested in this company. It might not be a West company, but it's massive, and it'll have direct ramifications. Not only that, but Europe is literally sliding downhill for its life. And it's in recession. The U.S. They say it's not in recession; it's in recession too. But the stock market, I don't know. It's just going to new levels of oh my gosh, things are awesome when they're not. Lowest unemployment numbers in history, But that's all skewed data to whatever way they want. Some people got 2 jobs. Some people aren't looking anymore. The guy up there waved to me. I don't know who he is, but if he's got problems, we'll help him. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. Plus, you've got the BRICS now saying that 85% of the people in the world are going to be trading through that block. Now, they didn't say they're going to do a currency, but 85% of the people trading in that block with over 50, I think it's 54% of the world's wealth, like more than the G7. But one thing I'd like to add in is that the G7 and the European Union are pretty much tied at the tit, like nipple to nipple. Whatever the one does, the other's going to do. And if you add the 2 economies, like the North American bloc, Oceania, and Europe, we're still massively larger than China. Yeah, China does make most of the world's goods, but Europe, America, Oceania, and to a limited degree, India. Now, India just became I believe it's the 5th largest economy in the world. You've got the U.S., you've got China, you've got Japan, you've got Germany, and now, to my understanding, India has kicked Great Britain off of its number 5 throne, and now Great Britain is number 6. Now, this is some pretty large news. China and India are very large trading partners. However, India has reaffirmed over and over again that it has no intentions of doing a currency with the BRICS nations. It wants to maintain its own wealth through the rupee, and I can kind of understand why. You got China there about ready to go through a debt implosion. The Belt and Roads Initiative, they keep having to fund that. It's a black hole that's not producing at the moment. I'm not saying it won't, but it's not producing for China. They're having to forgive debt, debt. The Americans sort of played that trump card there of interest rates. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, but interest rates are definitely bad for the U.S. U.S.'s ability to leverage debt in its own country. However, what it does is sucks dollars out of the economy, and that pulls it away from the rest of the world. So if there's not as many dollars in circulation, African nations, which rely heavily on the dollar, are getting the ever-living tar beat out of them. And another thing is Niger literally is stepped away from its democratic system. There's been a revolt. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that France has a franc that's in that's in Africa that's, I believe, held by 21 African nations. So it's almost sort of like a colonialism that France has over Africa. If you look it up on the map, Niger, Nigeria, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, what's it called there? The Ivory Coast, and all those nations that are around the center area, they all rely on this French dollar. Now, 30% of every single French franc, that's the African franc that's in circulation, is in Africa, but the other 70% is held in a bank de facto in France. And France kind of uses that like the US uses the Federal Reserve's dollar to print and borrow and do whatever they want against other countries' needs. Now, France can't allow this to happen, so they're going to do what France does best, and they're going to go and they're going to put down the rebellion that's in Niger. I see that coming one way or the other. They'll hire goons to do it, they'll do it themselves, or they'll financially destroy that nation and basically do what they did. There was another one that left them in the 90s, and they're still in the toilet. So basically, yeah, that's going to continue to happen over there, and most people, I don't think, are aware that the French have a non-French franc that's still in circulation in Africa. So if you don't know that, if you could leave a comment below and let me know, hey, I learned something today, that'd be very awesome. If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking that like button and the bell notification so that you know when I'm releasing new content. So we're getting into the end of the season here at the Whitewater Rafting. We got about 2 weeks of main rafting season, and then we go into our fall lineup. It's a bit of a different program. As you can see, if you're my usual viewers, the lower Ostrom here has come up substantially. It raised up 5 feet. The fall water is starting to get dumped out from the reservoirs up top. You can even see up here, if I zoom it in, that little line, that kind of flat water in the middle. That's all that's left of the massive eddy. Now there's a river-wide current that comes down. The hole down here on bottom river right is coming back in again, and our higher fall water levels are coming in. Summer baseline is 0. We were at like -2 to 3 for about 4 weeks, and now we're pumping. We're back up to somewhere between, I'd say, 3 1/4 and 3 1/2 above on the gauge. So we're above the summer baseline, which does usually continue till almost the end of August, but it looks like they're releasing water now due to the cooler temperatures and rain that we've been experiencing in this area for the last, 2.5 weeks. It's pretty much been kind of like Cuba in a way. You go to, the hot sun comes out, cooks Cuba, and then in the evening the thunderstorms come in and cool down Cuba, and it does that every night. It's kind of a thing that happens in Cuba in the fall and the winter. So I'm going to see if I can get up a little bit higher. The usual way I walk is, well, it's gone right now, so I'm going to see if I can take Route B, which is really got growing in. Oh, that's not it. This way. So yeah, there's a lot of things that are transpiring financially around the world. Now, silver, it's pretty much been doing what I said it was going to do. It's sort of laying flat. I'm expecting probably September, a little bit of a pullback. Now, if the Fed decides to pivot, which is a possibility, they might reverse course and lower interest rates. I don't see it yet, but currently, if they did, that would start massively driving silver price higher. However, if they do what I'm expecting, which is raise interest rates, and why do I expect that? Well, the US has to suck more liquidity out of the market. We're still fighting that nasty inflation monster. Now, if you look at the price of fuel at the pump, here in Canada anyways, you can let me know in the US what's going on by just letting me know your state and what your price is, and what it was a month and a half ago and what it is now. But yeah, oil itself, the commodity's gone up by 20 some odd %. So if those of you were listening when I said that the price of oil was going to go higher, and you got in on that, congratulations. You made a little bit of extra money, well, extra fiat. Wow, this ever growing in. Just a second here, team. Oh, that's my kayaker. I'm going to turn around. The boats are here. There's no point. But yeah, so if you made that play, good for you. But that's also raised the prices of oil at the pump, the gas that we buy, heating fuel, all that's going to surge. Once they start, which they're doing now, transferring fuel into Europe, that's really going to drive up the price. Joe, I think, is still dumping out of the strategic reservoir, which is badly depleted now. And the last card to keep prices low in oil is gone. Yeah, I just see oil prices going up from here. I see by Christmas in my area, it's $1.69 a liter. I see $2 to $2.20 a liter for fuel before Christmas in my area. I hate to say that, but I see oil going up unless something happens. If another war sparks off, you know, and the drums are beating there, like I was just saying in Africa, you know, all bets are off. These are oil nations. They're not as big as you know, obviously the Middle East, but they still do have their own. But that's all I have time for today. The crew is here, so you know, until next time, keep your thumb to the sky, keep on stacking, and I hope your day is amazing. Bye for now.